Born on August 15, 1953, John Powell Mackey grew up in Houston, Texas, alongside his two siblings. Right from Mackey's childhood, his mother, Margaret Wescott Mackey, like any other good mother, demanded the best for her children. But unlike many mothers, she decided what was best for her children and wouldn't take no for an answer. This attitude of hers rubbed young Mackey wrong, especially after he expressed his interest in retailing to his parents. His mother merely laughed this off and declared that pursuing this interest of his would amount to little. She believed he had more potential than that. From that event onward, Mackey distanced himself from his mother. Though he acknowledged her as his mother, he did not abide by her wishes for the good of her children. Young Mackey rather became close to his father, William Sturgis Bill Mackey Jr. The man worked hard, being a professor of accounting, and was now the CEO of a healthcare company, Lifemark. It was obvious to see where Mackey got his interest. His father encouraged him to pursue business and taught him all he needed to know to succeed. And succeed Mackey did. When he advanced his education in the 70s, he enrolled at Trinity University to study religion, then moved to the University of Texas to study philosophy. Usually, one might say, and rightfully so, you'd think with Mackey's interest in the business, he would go to business school, but he settled for studying varying courses for the next 6 years that would make his mother shake her head disappointedly from her corner. But this was all part of Mackey's wishes, and that was to live his own life, not allowing others to dictate his faith. He discovered that life wasn't all about pursuing a specific thing, but about casting a wide net, trying to see things from many perspectives. Little did he know how beneficial this will become in the future. In his bid to try new things, Mackey eventually became a vegetarian, a lonely vegetarian. But that status would change after he met his girlfriend, a fellow vegetarian named Renee Lawson, at a university vegetarian co-op. Aside from their unique lifestyle, they shared an open mind and a deep sense of trust for each other. This would carry well even after they conceived their first business idea. In 1978, Mackey and Lawson dropped out of the University of Texas and borrowed $45,000 from their friends and families to execute their plan for a health food store called Safeway, a true health food store, unlike the few scattered throughout Austin, Texas. Mackey and Lawson had a store on the first floor, a restaurant that served healthy food on the second floor, and a room with a bed where they lived on the third floor. Most, if not all of their funds went into running their business, so much so they couldn't afford a decent shower and would improvise using a hosepipe to bathe at the back of their store. Of course, the knowledge of this and the couple's business ambitions were met with remarks from their families and friends, who believed their hippie store was too unconventional and had not a prayer to succeed in Austin, Texas, of all places. However, Mackey and Lawson soldiered on, determined to succeed. Mackey held strong to his vision of a business that sold and served quality 100% organic food with no percentage spared. Thus, he avoided suppliers who utilized large-scale mechanized farming practices. Not only was it costly, but Mackey believed some of these suppliers probably favored the practice of quantity over quality for the sake of profits and could care less about other people's health. Instead, Mackey kept contact with the small-scale farmers who supplied fresh produce from their farms, as well as the Maine fishermen who supplied fresh catch. Despite some hiccups here and there, the couple's business thrived. In 1980, Mackey and Lawson had grown Safeways to a position where they could merge with another business with aligned vegetarian goals, the Clarksville Natural Grocery Run, which was owned by Mark Skills and Craig Whaler. This joint venture of theirs was co-founded as Whole Foods, and at the time, it became one of the larger health food stores. However, the good fortune that Whole Foods enjoyed would wash away after a flood swept through Austin in 1981. It was a flood of such magnitude not seen since the breach of the Austin Dam in 1911. To make matters worse, Mackey and the others had covered everything concerning the day-to-day running of Whole Foods, save for insurance, which was what the health food store needed the most after they lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages and loss of their inventory. If it were any other business, that would have been the end of Whole Foods. But over the years, Mackey built and maintained solid relationships with his staff, customer base, and trustworthy suppliers. They repaid his loyalty in return and helped him rebuild Whole Foods. With an extra injection of funds from investors, Whole Foods became operational in almost a month. what would have taken others several months to a year to recover. During this period, he cut romantic ties with Lawson and began dating another woman named Mary Kay Hagan. Mackey soon set plans in motion to expand beyond the state of Texas. From 1984 onwards, he set Whole Food market chains in Dallas, Houston, New Orleans, California, and several other U.S. states. He also expanded Whole Foods and would accomplish this by going public and acquiring several natural food chains during the late 80s to late 90s, like Bread and Circus, Freshfield Markets, Allegro Coffee Company, and more. But Whole Foods' success wasn't mainly from these. Their sales skyrocketed during the 90s when Americans began believing the claim that they have and would become fat if they continued eating foods with high fat content. This led to the launch of the low-fat diet that led many to decease from fast food outlets and sent them scurrying for the natural food stores. And where else would the majority go but Whole Foods? At the time, John Mackey parted way with his longtime girlfriend Mary Kay Hagan on friendly terms. This time, he married Deborah Morin, but they decided to have no children. Throughout the years, Whole Foods continued expanding throughout the U.S. and beyond its shores to Canada and the United Kingdom. How Whole Foods continued to succeed was the opposite of what others might guess. Where other health food supermarkets sold more for cheap and usually less quality, Mackey, regardless of intense competition, ensured Whole Foods remained true to his vision, selling 100% organic food at a higher price, yet with higher quality. He built the reputation of Whole Foods to be known for its organic, chemical-free foods. Besides, if competition got too intense, Mackey figured it would be more productive to acquire the competition and work together to a greater common goal. In 2006, the annual sales of Whole Foods markets reached $4.7 billion and would continue to grow for some years to come. That same year, when he turned 53, he announced that he would reduce his salary to $1 a year and donate his stock portfolio to charity. He always sought to maintain solid relationships with others and cared for his employees. Like a father to children, that he set up an emergency $100,000 fund for those who experience tough times in life. By 2009, Mackey resigned from being the chairman of Whole Foods and became a member of the board of directors. 8 years later, Amazon would purchase Whole Foods markets for $13.6 billion, moving on to boast annual sales of more than $16 billion. And the rest is history. Thank you very much for watching our videos. We'd like to give you another interesting video for you to enjoy next. But before then, our team will be very happy if you can like this video and share it with your friends on social media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss other interesting videos like this. Look at your screen now to see 2 other interesting videos we handpicked for you to enjoy next. We love you.